Stephen Hawking, one of the world's famous physicians in the world, once said, AI is likely to be either the best or the worst thing happen to humanity. The European Union is introducing the world first regulation of AI to tame the risk and to maximize the benefits. And that will be the topic of the next presentation by Yunus from Validator. He will give us a short overview over the AI risks and how to deal with them in context of the European's AI legislation. Yunus, Bulut.
Thank you. So, I am Yunus from Validator and actually KIT. So Validator is a KIT spin-off. I am still a researcher at KIT. And in this talk, I will explain to you how we come up with Validator idea and how we span up from inside the KIT as a startup. But before that, let's talk about AI. So I usually, in my talks, I really emphasize the risks of AI, but I really don't want to give the impression that AI is very dangerous or something like that, or existential risks. But we know that AI is great. It is transformational. It can be, the effects of AI can be even bigger than the effects of electricity. And it is in every industry, and we feel it more and more throughout the upcoming years. So in healthcare, in automotive, in manufacturing, in any kind of area, I mean, from sales to marketing, what kind of personal assistance, AI is here and will be with us. So it's great. But it has some risks, like us, like humans. So AI can fail in its decision-making. So for example, you can easily recognize the Shrek, right? It is our good old friend Shrek here. But if you ask ChatGPT or something like that, it can misguide it, or it can say that, okay, this is the famous Mona Lisa portrait of Da Vinci. Or you can really convince AI to believe that an apple, but on top of it, a sticker, and you can convince AI that it's an iPod. And, okay, we fail, humans fail, AI fails, but the real problem is AI can fail very easily. Very easily. It is very easy to decept or fool any type of AI and make some erroneous decisions. So this is alarming. As AI will be adopted more and more, then these risks will be more and more pronounced in our daily lives. So this is a clear call for, in cybersecurity jargon, what we call red and blue teams. So in cybersecurity, red teams means that some people test the IT systems of a company or something like that. So they design new attacks and figure out how they can manipulate or violate your safeguards. And blue teams is you have your internal team at your company, and they work on how to mitigate those kind of attacks, how to make your IT system more secure, more safe against those kind of malicious actors. So the risks of AI and the failure modes of AI is calling some red teaming and blue teaming efforts in the AI development stages. So in order to make AI better, all right, we need to conceptualize what better AI is. And nowadays, we tend to call them as trustworthy AI and characteristics of trustworthy AI. So how does it look like? So it's like, OK, an AI should be safe, secure. So it shouldn't be easily hackable. Of course, it's not possible to make it, fully safe or secure or something like that, as it is the case for all IT systems. But still, it should be secure enough. And we use AI in our decision-making, in credit scoring, in credit granting processes, in healthcare. So it should also be fair, OK? It shouldn't discriminate people against the nationalities, ethnicity, or anything else. But since AI is learning from our experience, AI is biased because we are biased. But as we automate the things and we delegate the decision-making to AI systems, we need to make sure that they are fair enough and they don't have some kind of biases at all. What else? So healthcare, wearables, they collect our data. So I have a smartwatch, and I don't trust, okay, any kind of vendor. They can use my data. They can use my data in the way that I don't want them to do so, which means that the AI systems, okay, that will be trained on personal data should also be private because they know my personal or sensitive data. So they know my emails, they know my health data. So I need to be sure that my sensitive data will not be leaked or revealed by AI to some third parties. And the other things like explainability, reliability, right? We want to get some explanations on why an AI makes a decision, etc. So we call all of these features as trustworthy AI or responsible AI characteristics. So, okay, doing AI is great. We do it more and more, but we need to make sure that AI, our AI, the AI that we develop, will possess these kind of characteristics. And it is not just, a fantasy or toy, a story. It can happen in real time, in autonomous driving. I mean, maybe one of the famous one is about the Dutch authority, the Netherlands. A couple of years ago, their algorithm made a mistake and discriminated some people and claimed they are doing fraud in social benefits, okay? And it turned out that it is the mistake of the algorithm. But the problem is, those negatively affected from that decision belongs to a specific stereotype. It's a clear bias, and the minister has resigned. Or when you start chatting with ChatGPT, as you all know, if you know some really easy tricks, you can get some personal emails, personal mobile phone numbers, social security IDs of the people, because those models are trained with those data. In their training set, there are sensitive data. And it will be so, okay? And you rely on security cameras, but I can wear a T-shirt with a special sticker on it, and your security camera can identify me as a table or chair, which is pretty safe. So this is real. And we'll start to observe these problems more and more. Based upon this, nowadays something very big, enormous, gigantic has been loaded, actually. It's the so-called AI Act, the European Union's regulations on AI. And it has been approved 2 weeks ago. And in 2 years, AI will be regulated inside European Union. That regulation calls for heavy testing. It says that if your AI is high risk, do I have pointer? No. So it classifies AI according to their risk levels. So there will be some prohibited AI, like social scoring, okay? Real-time surveillance. But the thing is, for high-risk AI, the AI that will be used in use cases that might be related to the safety, security, health, and fundamental rights of human beings, okay, they are by definition high risk. And if your AI is high risk, you need to test your AI very comprehensively. So far, as AI practitioners, we tend to test our AI for performance, like accuracy, those kind of stuff. But this regulation says that that's not enough. You need to test it for privacy. You need to test it for cybersecurity. You need to test it for fairness and bias and report these numbers, test results to the relevant authorities. That is why it is so big. And basically nowadays changed our way of doing AI, how we develop AI. And it is not, it's a law, and it comes with a lot of penalties. So if you are a company that is developing AI, it would be better to think about it and start working on it, because its fees are pretty good, pretty huge. And I mean, apart from these fees, of course, there is this reputational risk your organization, companies, whatever, bears when you use some AI. Okay, AI has some risks. The European regulation is here, and that is why we have been developing a platform called Validator. And in this platform, we test AI. So you develop AI, our platform automatically, in an out-of-box fashion, tests your AI for performance, for security, cybersecurity, vulnerability to adversarial attacks, bias, gender bias, ethnicity bias, reliability, etc. And we also provide compliance automation, because the requirements of the AI Act is so daunting that as a startup with 5 people, 6 people, it is almost impossible to write down and develop those documents. It's tedious. And in our platform, we provide ready-made templates, and we bring together testing with the compliance work, so that when you are testing your AI, you are also in compliance with these AI regulations and ISO standards, whatever, risk management. So we enforce also the best practices of trustworthy AI is being used in your organizations. So that is Validator. So we are a startup. We are an official KIT spin-off. And how it started. So this is a university, a good, large university in a nice, shiny area of Germany. So it's, of course, as everything, it started as my personal hobby or side project, whatever. But when I started to work at TECO under the chair of Professor Weigel, you see here, I observed that. So the variables, we use AI to classify human actions or detect some certain activities. Those are concerning in terms of privacy, right? So these are very practical applications which uses a lot of AI, but there is a clear call for testing more comprehensively. And that is the time that, OK, maybe KIT is a really good place to incubate this idea. And we started in 2021, and we make use of our current project inside KIT that we do with some other partners, some other universities, Fraunhofer, etc. And that is how we move forward with the Validator project. And then the KIT Gründerschmiede and the startup support team comes into play. They let us know what kind of funding opportunities we might have. And with the help of that team, we secured 700,000 funding from BMBF in the form of grant, with a follow-up of 800,000 euro. So in total, 1.5 million, OK? It's full grant for a project incubated inside KIT. And that is where we are. We are now a startup. We are now talking about raising our seed Series A funding. We have some customers, partners, etc. So in short, I think I'm running out of time. Maybe the universities are really good places to incubate this kind of ideas. Why? Because by default, researchers in university has long-term vision, right? We do research, and most of the research has only benefits in the long run. So this is a good step, in order to plan any kind of commercial activity. So the university also already has this capability, this mindset. And the other thing is, inside KIT, you already work with cutting-edge technology. So probably it has some practical implications which can be exploited financially and economically in the short run. So universities might be really, really good environments for incubating ideas, like Stanford, very famous. But KIT is also, in my opinion, a very good place to start these kind of projects. And as I said, and I would like to emphasize that, like KIT Gründerschmiede, my colleagues are sitting there, they help a lot. And all universities should have these institutional help centers that can guide people, the researchers, how to start a startup. Because it's tedious. You need to funding, you need to learn the procedures, the legal environment in Germany, et cetera, but luckily we have that at KIT. And that is how we managed to do that. And the researchers inside these companies should be incentivized to make their ideas into something practical. And these incentives comes in the form of maybe, okay, we have some support structure here, we have funding for you, we can invest in your company, do it, okay? You know your stuff, we will try to help you, and we have our institutional helpers here and there, and that is how you can start. So many researchers probably waiting for that. So thank you very much. I need to stop here because I'm running out of time, but yeah, here we are. Thank you.